Paired it up, family. What's up? Are y'all ready for your first year in review summary from me and my team? Yep, that's what we're doing this year. 2024 was fast and furious. Some of it sucked and some of it was spectacular. So what we gonna do, we're gonna flip it and reverse it. We're gonna give you some of our snuggle ups, some of the clips, some pictures. All right. You got in the DMs, you gave it to us in the comments, you let us know what you liked about Zeddy. Everybody loves Zeddy. And we're gonna spice that up and split it up, all right? So share it, watch it, listen. Most importantly, take care of yourselves, all right? The world is stressing us out. But Alzheimer's is heavy. We ain't gotta be. We got each other. See you in 2025. Parenting Up, Caregiving Adventures with comedian Jay Smiles is the intense journey of unexpectedly being fully responsible for my mama. For over a decade, I've been chipping away at the unknown, advocating for her, and pushing Alzheimer's awareness on anyone and anything with a heartbeat. Spoiler alert, this shit is heavy. That's why I started doing comedy, so be ready for the jokes. Caregiver newbies, OGs, and village members just willing to prop up a caregiver, you are in the right place.
Hi, this is Zeddy. I hope you enjoy my daughter's podcast. Is that okay?
I got 50 minutes of sleep, 10 minutes less than an hour. I was nervous. I was worried. I was like, oh my God, my brain is not even going to be awake enough to be witty or to be spontaneous, which is the kind of comedy they wanted. Because I asked them, is there a theme you want me to talk about or stay away from? They said, no, Jay, just come in and spitball with the other comedians. What? I ain't sleep long enough to spitball. I told my team, I think, like, okay, I need a Coca-Cola and I need to just kind of get my mind right so that I can clear my mind enough to then allow the universe and the Holy Spirit to just put stuff in it as needed. Y'all, I walk into the green room. I walk into the station. I'm walking up the steps. The executive producer is coming down the steps and she said, I've been looking for you. I left my office early to come down and give you a hug. What? I wish y'all could see my face. What? Where they do that at? She said, okay, go ahead to the green room. I'm going back upstairs now. I just wanted to catch you before you got camera ready. It's like, okay. All right, universe. All right, ancestors. Okay. They really want me here. All right. Okay, cool. Let me do this. I walk into the green room. Jay Smiles. Of course you'll be here. Hell yeah, girl. What's up? And it is the biggest love fest with me and comedian Kelly Kells. If you don't know her, you're welcome in advance. Kelly, Kelly, Kellz. She's phenomenal, full of energy, super positive. She's killing it all over the United States. She gives me a big hug. Then your fly auntie says, I'm y'all soror too. I hadn't even met her before. So I don't even know how whatever. It doesn't matter because Kelly and I didn't say we were Deltas. We just started hugging. She said, I'm y'all soror too. She all leaned in and she was looking gorgeous and she's a lot taller than me. So her lean in, I was like, right, you win. That's big energy. And he go this big ass hug back. Turns out she has a phenomenal story of overcoming anyway, look her up. But she's out here doing big things, big positive things, and making sure that other people know not only are you not alone, the big thing is you always have your damn self. Her story to me sounds like quit looking around for somebody else to come do something for you. You got you. And figure out whatever it is inside of you that can help you do the thing you need. It was pretty amazing. I look around, and then I'm like, I know so damn well, that can't be her. I'm spinning in circles. I'm like, I know so damn, that ain't her. The infamous Coco Brown. I mean, Comic View, Tyler Perry, Netflix. She got a Netflix special, y'all. I go to hug her and stand up, and she's like, I remember you. I'm sorry, Coco Brown, did you say you remember me? She's like, haven't we met? I'm like, yeah, I remember when we met. I got the selfies in my phone. The point is, you remember? Listen, y'all, she can call Tyler Perry. She can call Oprah. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I said, yeah, I've been wanting to be with you and talk to you and ask questions and mentor you. And she was like, well, what happened? I said, well, some of the people that knew you said you were really busy. She was like, today's the day. Yo, she started sharing her story with me. She was a caregiver for both her parents. I didn't know that. They now have their wings, both of them. She's gonna be on the Parenting Up podcast. And she's gonna be my comedy mentor. Look, in that part, she offered. I ain't even have to force. But I did a little bit kind of say, you know you gotta be on my podcast. And she kind of looked, I was like, okay, anyway, let me tell you what the podcast is. Because I can only imagine how many people have asked Coco Brown, and it's C-O-C-O-A, Coco. There's an A on there. I'm talking fast, but just make sure you put an A on there, Coco Brown. I can't imagine how many people have asked her to be. I mean, she kills the game. And she's a real actor. She's an actor and a stand-up comedian. She didn't even have to let me finish the conversation, but she said, well, what's your podcast about? The minute I said Parenting Up, I'm a caregiver, she was like, done. And I was like, but she's like, sis, done. And whoever it was that knows me, that didn't let us meet earlier, she said, I apologize. Don't hold it against them and don't hold it against me. I'm not that kind of person. And I was like, wow. What got me excited about the law was what I knew about the civil rights movement and the fact that for the whole 19th century, everybody that was a part of making change seemed to be a lawyer. There was always a lawyer in the mix, I should say. There was a lawyer in the mix that was designing the strategy around how are we going to break this rule, break these ugly rules for women, for men, for kids, for foreigners coming into America. And I was like, I want to do that because I want to help. Mm-hmm. When I was preparing to go to Howard, my dad said, baby, don't major in pre-law. That is the dumbest program ever. He said, because if for any reason you don't choose law school, you're stuck with a degree that is absolutely useless. And, spoiler alert, I hate reading and writing. I hate it. Mm-hmm. I can do it. I just don't like it. And my father knew that I loved math and science. I would do a math problem like other people will play jacks or hopscotch or jump rope when I was a kid.
Okay, so that's where the interest came in. Okay.
And so my dad said, you know what, baby, what you need to do when you go to Howard is you need to major in something where you will take your butt to class. the most important thing for law school is to actually graduate from undergraduate school.
Okay.
With the best GPA you can. They don't care if you graduate in basket weaving. Graduate with the highest GPA. So what will make you go to class?
Right.
And I said, math and science. He said, well, go major in that.
Mm-hmm.
My mama was mad as hell. She said, don't let her major in something that's not law, because then she's going to get distracted and get over here and da-da-da. And he said, I don't care. What I don't want her to do is not graduate.
Right.
Or graduate with grades so poor that it's hard to get in law school. So I'm at Howard. My father ended up being so right. I'm at Howard. I'm finishing my junior studies. I fall so in love with engineering that I want to go design stuff. And I kind of tested by my mama one Thanksgiving, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to law school. You've been talking about law school since you were in the 8th grade. And I was like, yeah, I know, but this, I just want to go do this and then see. And then she kind of walked out the room on me. So when my parents sent me the money to go for the law school Kaplan classes and everything to take the LSAT, I didn't sign up for the classes. I just didn't take the courses. So when they called me to ask me about, did I prepare for law school? Did I sign up? Did I send any applications? I said, nope. Now, I did spend the money, but I never applied.
Okay.
And it was the only time in my life when my mama stopped talking to me. She just handed my phone to my daddy, and she said, Jock Smith. And she said some curse words that people wouldn't expect her to say. Jock Smith, you get on this phone with this child. I told you not to let her major in something other than pre-law. And that was the start of me figuring my way to get to Stanford and all the things. So I always wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
So I just kind of took another route around it. And I'm a bit of a purist, Mia, meaning if I want to design products or if I want to be an engineer, then I want to go be that. I don't want to be an engineering product design lawyer all on one project, right? Like I don't buy 2-in-1 conditioner shampoo. I want the shampoo, then I want the conditioner, and then I want at the end I want the whole thing. You know what I mean? Then I want the edge control. Don't give me one. I'm like, nah. I want to get the whole thing. I want the appetizer, then the salad, then the entree, then the dessert. Don't give me a smoothie that's supposed to give me all the nutrients. You know what I mean? So there were certain degrees or certain academic opportunities that tried, like patent law, where people would say, oh, you could go do both. No, you can't do both.
No, you don't want to do both. You're a purist.
Right, I'm a purist. And you don't really do both. As a patent attorney, you're just looking over engineering papers, but you don't get to do any engineering. You don't design anything. You don't have anything to do with how that product works. You're just making sure that somebody doesn't get sued. You have nothing to do with how the damn thing works. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So basically law was the very first thing I was supposed to do.
Okay.
So I ended up going full circle.
Okay.
My father met Johnny Cochran when Johnny Cochran was on his first book tour. This was after the OJ trial, his Journey to Justice book tour. They became very, very fast friends. So while I was at Stanford, they started the National Cochran Firm.
Okay.
And so when I went to Gillette to design toothbrushes, they started teasing me about having this corporate job, like, working for the man and being, behind bars. Because I got this 9 to 5 and I'm wearing a lab coat, but I'm the only Black woman in this Global Advanced Research and Design Center for a Fortune 500 company. I'm expecting them to be proud, and they're clowning me. They're like calling me from private planes saying, are you through?
Are you through playing?
They was waiting for you. They was waiting for
Are
you.
you through playing with the little Lego sets and your Bunsen burners?
And, you know, to lose a parent is a whole nother animal.
Right.
Because, you know, I remember cleaning up the house and I was cleaning up something and I came across a bottle of perfume and I had never seen. And I was like, what is this? And I opened it up. Let me tell you, I smelled it, this little perfume, and it was cried for 6 days.
That's your mama.
It was mama perfume.
Mama in a bottle.
Who put this damn bottle out here? Anyway.
Y'all know y'all could have put that up.
Please, somebody.
Yeah.
But but we took care of my mom. My uncle stood in the gap for my grandmother.
Okay.
And he actually became her real caregiver in terms of, you know, he started getting a check. Like even now, he's still a caregiver with what he learned from the help of my grandmother.
Wow.
So he's still a caregiver for older people.
So he turned it into a career path.
He turned it into a career path because he had no job.
Well, come on now. We all got
he
that.
He stayed at home so long.
How long was it?
That people start commending him for being there.
Oh,
like, hey man, you doing so good with mom. I'm like, that nigga never left. He ain't staying with mama. He's just still here.
And she happens to now be sick.
Yeah.
All right. I know. We got some of those.
Well, that's where my parents met. Talking trash at a political event, talking about voting. My mom always told me, no voting is insignificant. If it was insignificant and it didn't matter, they would have given us the right to vote from the beginning. And so even if you don't understand, Jay, why you should vote, understand that the people in the power don't want you to. That's why you should do it. So think about like when you're a kid and you're growing up and your parents say, don't date that guy, don't date that girl, come home by midnight. What's the first thing you do? You're like, forget that. If you say come home by midnight, I'm trying to figure out immediately how at least to stay out to 1 a.m. It's the same psychology, for my mom at least. If they don't want us to vote, then damn it, I'm fucking voting every time. Local, state, federal, she was in it. Now, of course, it does not hurt that she was born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama, and Martin Luther King Jr. was a personal mentor of hers. But I will tell you this, all of her contemporaries, all of her cousins, everybody she grew up with didn't keep that same fire in their belly. And I mean, technically speaking, Dr. King was there with them too. Like I wasn't there, so I ain't trying to start nothing. And I ain't trying to say who did this, who robbed Peter to pay Paul. But I grew up with him. And I know some people didn't quite make it. Y'all, Zeddy gave her employees the day off to go vote. She's a private employer, a consultant. And let me tell you why that's a big deal. They had to negotiate their ass off to get regular vacation. Because my mama believed that you should work. You got sick days and then you should come to work. Because if you ain't sick, you should be at work. Vacation from what? What you vacationing from? You should be happy to have a job, and if you ain't sick, you should come to work. But for voting, she gave him the day off. Paid. And all she was waiting for them to do was to come back into work with a little sticker on that said, I voted. That's how serious my mama was from day one about voting. Funny story about voting with my mom. Okay, so back in the day, especially Montgomery, Alabama, you got to realize when I was growing up, we were still under all kind of federal jurisdiction because of the crap that happened back in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. You know what? For the crap that happened from Jesus and Moses up till about 1997, we were still under federal rule. So how we voted and when we voted and gerrymandering and red districting, all of that, we had a lot of federal oversight. So y'all know good and well my mama was not supposed to be walking up to the polls with a kid who couldn't vote. But she was so about that life. And everybody at the polls knew her. She took my look behind, grabbed me by the hand, and said, come on in here, you going to vote. Don't talk, but I want you to see and know what it is. I want you to watch mama, check for my name. This is Alabama. We didn't have nothing digital. Wasn't nothing fancy ever. It was you were writing your name or scratching your name off or bubbling something and coloring in something. You stand here and don't say nothing. And she walked in, and hilarious was to watch Zeddy go from badass, I will negotiate with a drug kingpin and the devil, to sweet and demure, like she about to hand somebody a piece of cake. So she's talking all this trash with me in the car. Now, you're not supposed to be in here, but don't say nothing. If you just don't talk and don't do nothing, don't touch nothing, you can't bring no toy in here, and don't look at nobody. You just hold my hand. She gets in. Hi, how are you? Ooh, how's your mama? Yeah. Oh my God. It is hot outside, isn't it? Oh, I barely made it here. Yep. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, should I get in this line over here? Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had to go pick my child up. I didn't have anybody else to go and get him. So is it okay if she's just going to be just right over? She's not going to make a, oh, is that okay? Oh, thank you so much. Cause I understand. Y'all, okay? By the time she has cotton air talk these people into talking about the weather and they kids and a piece of cake, I'm at 9, 11, 12, 13, all standing with her, watching the whole process. That's my mama. And then she walks back out and she said, did you see what I just did? You don't take no for an answer. If you're not trying to shoot nobody or kill nobody or steal nothing, you better not stand down.
And
he
black
didn't
women
care
make it
'cause-
work.
But it was one of those things that I begin to see Daddy when Dad couldn't remember certain things, and Dad's personality began to change. My father was a very distinct man.
Okay.
Like he imagine, Texas Walker Ranger.
That's right.
Like
That's
you weren't
And
even
your
there,
whole week just got shifted
And
off
when
that one
right,
phrase.
like, wait, what? And then when when I saw his personality changing, where Daddy started being way more talkative, that was the sign to me. Because my dad was
Now,
not
see,
a
that's
he
when
was
you
not
really
a
got to know
chatterbox.
people. Listen, parents in the up community, we're going to take just a sneak of a button on that. That is what comes with being a family caregiver
Yeah.
with somebody who's been locked in.
Yeah.
Because someone who didn't talk a lot, who now is just talking more, a doctor or someone in the hospital wouldn't say, well, what's wrong? That's not anything.
No.
But you're like, oh, what's wrong is that ain't my daddy.
That ain't my
That's
daddy.
not how my
ain't
daddy
my pop.
is.
Me and my dad could sit in that Florida room. He'd be in his favorite lazy boy. I'd be sitting on the love seat, and we'd be watching old shows like Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
Cartwright. And it'd be silence. It's like me and my father had a relationship that we could have silent conversations. I always say that.
Okay, that's
me,
scary.
Me and my father, we
That's
could literally
very
be sitting.
scary.
I mean, like seriously, we could be sitting in a room watching something, and we could laugh at the same time. And he'd look at me, and I look at him, and like, You know what I'm saying? And it's like we knew like that was crazy or whatever.
Yeah.
So when my father became a chatterbox, and then it was to the point that he wasn't making sense.
Okay.
That was the like, okay, wait, Dad is talking way more and he's not making sense. That's when I knew the dementia was kicking in. when he would be like, call. I'm like, call who, daddy? Call, no, the woman down the hall, your wife. And it got to a point, I've literally made a joke about this, that towards the end, my dad's dementia had gotten to the point that he thought I was his wife. I'm love bug, I'm fair about this, that towards the end, my dad's dementia had gotten to the point that he thought I was his wife. I'm love bug, I'm Farrah, And he'd be like, baby, sweetie. And I know he called my mama baby and sweetie. He called me love bug.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Only Farrah when he was like seriously like mad at me. Like,
very not happy.
Yeah, not happy.
Yeah.
And so, but I remember, how God is so good. When they brought my dad home, when they said there was nothing more that they could do, and we put him in hospice, and he had mentioned to me before he got sick that he wanted to be in his own home. He didn't want to be in nobody's hospital or cold. And I promised him that, and we set up my brother's old bedroom, for the hospice people and all that. And I remember that day I was at the hospital. My dad was comatose. They had doped him up so much because of the pain and stuff.
Yeah.
When they walked him through that door that night, I had my daddy. He was talking. Wow. He was so normal. It was freakish. Yeah. I don't know what it was. He was like, Lubba, who won the game tonight? Lubba, I want some oatmeal. Lubba. And I'm like, because I just left you in the hospital hours ago and you were comatose.
Right, and
you
frozen.
were doped up.
And then
you're coming through the door. The guys are bringing them through. Lubba, hey, Lubba, hey, Lubba. And I'll never forget, I said, I thank God for this every day. I had not heard my daddy say he loved me in a while because of the dementia and everything. And I'll never forget, I was in there and daddy was just talking. It's nice. I like it because I had, hooked the room up,
Right.
the
That's
hospital
right.
bed was
Of
in there, his
course.
TV, all the stuff.
Some stuff from home, like a blanket, something like that.
He was home.
Yeah,
He was at our childhood home. He was just in my brother's roam.
Right.
And
That's right.
I remember I was talking to him. I said, "You want some oatmeal, Daddy?" Yeah, I want some oatmeal. My dad loved oatmeal, and I'm like, "Okay." I said, "You want peanut butter in it?" Because my dad would put a scoop of peanut butter in it. It was crazy.
I'm gonna have to try that.
He would put a scoop of peanut butter.
I eat oatmeal.
Right.
I never heard about putting.
My dad would put a
peanut
scoop of peanut butter in his oatmeal.
Let me tell you
my
something.
dad cooked some very strange things for us when we were growing up. You know.
I'm gonna try
And
it.
I remember saying, "Okay," and I was walking out the room, and I said, "Okay, Poppy, I'm gonna go get it." And I said, "I love you."
I end each episode with a segment called the Snuggle Up.
Oh.
Yes. It's not sexual.
Oh.
I know. I just wanted to lower your expectations.
Yeah, I'm like,
I
what was that
I
snuggle?
saw it with the way you rubbed
I had
your
rubbed
knee.
my knees.
Yeah, and I was like, I
started
just want to
squinting
bring
at
you back
camera
down. Yeah.
The what? Let's snuggle up.
So, it is advice either to other caregivers or you wish somebody would have told you, looking back on it, and you say, you know what? Caregiving will be easier if you go on and snuggle up to this fact or this approach. It'll just make it go better.
Caregiving is going to always be easy if you just care, right? You have to care, and then the lifting will be easier. But if you look at it as if it's a chore, if you look at it as if it's an obligation, if you look at it anything besides positive, you're going to feel overwhelmed and drained. Because those feelings come naturally. But if you look at it as a care, as a blessing, as an opportunity, as a privilege, then the load will be much lighter, and people around you will feel it, and then the transition, however it ultimately turns out, will leave you feeling fulfilled versus feeling empty, overwhelmed, and regretful.
What?
Bars.
Listen, bars. This is the Prince
Yes!
Rainmaker for the end of the Snuggle Up. That was a Snuggle Up right there,
That
baby.
was good.
Number one snuggle up is related to caregiving, and it's something that I have been hit with personally lately in a caregiving journey, which could be towards a parent and also towards other loved ones who might be confronting really difficult diagnoses. So, maybe you're already caring for your aging parent, and your aging parent is relatively healthy, yet all of a sudden the dementia diagnosis comes, or the cancer diagnosis comes, or something else that's extremely serious, and we'll call it terminal. For me, I think, you and I, we are women of action. Many women who are listening to this podcast are also women of action, and we want to jump into service. We want to jump into helping, healing, hurting, whatever that is. We're going to do something because it feels like the right thing to do. It feels what we need to do. It's an act of devotion. And what I have learned through my company and through my personal journey with caregiving recently, it's just to pause and to ask the question and to listen. Pause. I'm sorry that you have this diagnosis. How would you like me to support you in this time? How would you like to be supported? And in doing so, they may say, just love me. Just feed me ice cream and let me watch movies. Or give me the top of the line genetic research, and I want to talk to the top 10 physicians in this, and I want to talk to the top 3 surgeons in the area, and I want a second and third opinion. Whatever it is that they're asking for, help them. But before you act, ask them, what does it look like for me to support you, and how do you want to be supported?
That's fantastic. Jen, that's it. We're going to button it up right there. That is it. Before you act, ask. Woo! Woo! That is so powerful. That is merch. Before you act, ask. That is a good snuggle up. That is good in every relationship. That's good at work.
Yeah.
That is good in a romantic relationship. I don't know where that would be a negative mantra. I can't think of one at this time. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Number 1, it's hard. What made you decide in the first place to even consider being this deadbeat parent's caregiver? Something did. There's a whole lot of things in your life you never even thought about doing. Like if you're a teacher, you probably maybe never thought about being a sumo wrestler. Did you know you're actually supposed to call it a sumo wrestler? It's not even sumo. We say sumo on the western side of the world, but in Japan, where it's from, they also say sumo. So, okay, just take that from me. But there are a lot of things in this world that you've never considered being or doing or eating or drinking. Something made you say, I'll do it. Even if it was with a little bit of hesitation. Peel that apart. What is it? Is it because you think it's the right thing to do? Is it because you have grown past the treatment that you received as a child or as a young adult? Because you have gone through some spiritual awakening? Whatever the case is, don't let scars and scar tissue keep you from continuing on that pattern and journey of growth. Just don't let it happen. Don't turn back to the darkness. Lean into whatever it is that made you consider being a caregiver for the person that was once your bully.
Hope you enjoyed the best of 2024 as much as we did bringing it to you. We hit some milestones. 100 episodes featured on NPR. Top 3. What? For HFC? Get out of here. 2025 better have a hyperbolic chamber, better have compression shocks, all kind of stuff. It's gonna need oxygen because we coming in hot. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
What's up, y'all? I'm over here just mixing and scratching up stuff. And reminding y'all, Patreon is open. It is open and ready for you and your mama too.
We are loaded up things, all things Zeddy, all things podcast, all things caregiving, behind the scenes, extra stuff. J Smiles Comedy is dropping with her own little collection within the J Smiles Studio Patreon very, very soon. It'll be less than a month. But you want to go on and get in there because there's exclusives that's kind of time sensitive to whoever is in there first. We've already had live broadcasts for people who are already in. And I'm going to be honest, because of, branding matters. So there's some stuff that I just can't say and do on the World Wide Web that I can do in the Patreon pantry. So if you want to see and know and hear and experience more of what's happening between my ears, come to the J Smile Studio, my Patreon pantry.